The Gemara in Kiddushin Memhei Amud Beis says that a person who sends his father as his own shaliach is called chatzuf. He's brazen. Chutzpahdik. The Ben Ish Chai in Torah Lishma Siman Reish Samech Ches says this is true not only if you send your father out to throw out the garbage. Even for a dvar mitzvah. Daddy, can you do bdikas chametz for me today? Daddy, can you separate tumas and maisos? How does he prove it from this Gemara? Because this Gemara is talking about a person who sends his father to be his shaliach, to find a wife, to be mekadesh his wife. This is dvar mitzvah. So even for divrei mitzvah, one should not send his father. He is called chatzuf by Chazal. In Sefer Derech Sicha, Maran Reb Chaim Kanievsky Zatzal says, he was asked over there, you know that your father is going to send mishloach manos to somebody, and you also need to send mishloach manos to the same individual. Can you say to your father, listen, anyways you're going there, do me a favor, take this little basket, it's not heavy at all. Can you take it and give it to him, because I also need to give him mishloach manos? Says Reb Chaim, no! What you can say to your father is, by the way, I also need to give mishloach manos to this individual. If your father says, oh, I'll take it, then you're okay with it. Just like the Gemara says about the Kiddushin. But Reb Chaim Kanievsky over there says a ma'aseh about himself. He wasn't feeling well one day when he was young. He was about to put out his sefer, Hasam Orchoisav. Hasam Orchoisav is a sefer that he wrote on Orchos Chaim of the Rosh. Orchos Chaim is a short sefer of the Rosh, Sefer Musa. And Reb Chaim opens it up with all kinds of sources to everything that the Rosh says. He brings the source from Chazal. The sefer was ready, but he couldn't go to the printer because he wasn't feeling well. His father came to visit him that day, Stipler. And the Stipler says to Reb Chaim, by the way, I'm going now to the printer to give my Kehilos Yaakov. My sefer was about to be printed. So Reb Chaim says, oh, I also have a sefer to give to print. So the Stipler says to him, so give it to me, I'll take it. He offered to Reb Chaim to take his sefer. Reb Chaim says, shkoyach. And he gave it to him. This sefer took a few years to be printed. Not a big sefer. The Stipler sefer came out shortly after. So a few years later, when finally the sefer came out, Reb Chaim came over to his father to give him the first copy. And he asked, Daddy, why do you think this happened? This is so strange. Your sefer came out in a few months. Mine took a few years. You handed it in the same time. The Stipler says, well, what do you expect? You sent your father as a shaliach. But Reb Chaim says, but you offered. You told me, give me the sefer, I'll take it. He says, you're right. But you sent your father as a shaliach. And you're expecting to have siyata dishmaya when you're sending your father as a shaliach? Reb Nissim Karelitz Zatzal pointed out, and this is something so shayach to us. Kids sitting at home. Doesn't make a difference the age of the kid. It can be a 40-year-old and 60-year-old as well. His father's sitting at the table. Daddy, can you pass the salt, please? Can you hand me there's orange juice over there. Could you just pass it over? Tell your mother, can you please give me that cup? Pass that dish. Who's your father? Father? Your mother? Your servants? They're working for you? It's a problem with kibudav. If the mother serves, there's no problem. She chooses to serve you. But when you ask her to do certain things for you, you basically are saying, you are my servants, you are my worker. You're a waiter here. Even though she is doing it with simcha in your heart, but why are you asking your mother to do things for you? Get up and take it yourself. Are your legs and your arms are not working? This Reb Nissim Karelitz is not his own chiddush. Sefer Chasidim. Rabbi Yehuda Chosid, listen to the language of Rabbi Yehuda Chosid. Simen Kuf Nun Beis, Rabbi Yehuda Chosid says, Retzoinu shel Adam hu kevoido. One's will is his honor. Ve'afilu lekibud aveim, and even for honoring one's parents. In other words, she'im lochen, if it wasn't like that, afilu tzadi gamu, even a complete righteous individual, lo yuchal lehinatzel min ha'aver, wouldn't be able to escape this sin. Okay, so what am I talking about? Says Sefer Chasidim, Rabbi Yehuda Chosid. Avi ve'imo yoshitu lo hakos or yimzegu. Your father gives you the glass, or he pours a beverage to your cup, or other things that a person almost can't avoid. You transgress them. And therefore, if your father, your mother are moichel on their honor, no problem. And therefore, he suggests, every parent should be moichel to their kids, even without their knowing, in order for the kids not to be punished. In other words, if the parents are not moichel, the kids will be punished for this. And this is without the kid asking for a favor. This is the parent doing it, serving the kid. How much worse so when the kid is asking, can you do this and this for me? Get up, do it yourself.
How should he be moichel? The parent has to say it.
He doesn't have to be next to them. He says, I'm moichel to my parents, my kids, no matter what.
You should say it.
And some suggest you should do it once a year.
You should say it.
Say it to yourself. I'm moichel to my kids, no matter what they're going to do to me.
If he doesn't say, I mean, if I do him a favor, so obviously I chose myself to be as...
Maybe not. You're embarrassed. Some guests on the table. Daddy, can you pass me? Sure. What do you want to look like a person? No, I don't want to give it to you. So you give it to... You're not moichel. How come he's asking me to do this? He knows it's heavy. He knows... why am I working for my son? If you're moichel really, great. You should say it. Menoya Sabao, Sefer Kadmon. He writes, one who honors his parents, Zoiche veroe esbanav gedolei hador. One who honors his parents, he will merit to see his children gedolei hador. What's the connection? I think perhaps the Chai Adam writes, honoring one's parents is b'machshava, b'maise, uvedibur. Maise we understand. Dibur we also understand. How you address your father. What's machshava? You have to honor your parents with machshava. What does that mean? Says the Chai Adam, one has to honor his parents in his machshava, that he should view them as if they are, I'm quoting you, Gidolim v'nichbedei eretz. You have to view your parents as anashim gidolim, great individuals, even though in the eyes of other people they are not considered chashuv at all. The Charedim writes the same thing. According to that, we can say, if one has to honor his parents and view them as gedolim, mimele mida keneged mida, measure for measure, he will merit to have his kids gedolei eretz. We should point out that Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach says about this Chai Adam that it's not la halacha. It can't be that one has to view his parents as gedolei olam when they're not. Not every parent is gadol hador. What the Chai Adam meant, says Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, is just to make us know how important and severe this mitzvah is, but not lemaise that you should view your own parent as a gadol hador if he is not. Reb Chaim Shmulevitz explained this, Chai Adam. Every person has a maila. Just like a parent always sees a certain maila in his son. Maybe his son is not the greatest son in the world, but you always look and focus on that good virtue that your son has. You should do the same to your parents and find that great maila that they have and focus on that. And that, look at them as, wow, they're so great in this. Rabbi Sim Karelitz Zatzal explains, a person who saved you from death. You're drowning and he saved you. Doesn't make a difference who that person is. From now on, you look at him as, wow, this is a great person. That's what your parents did to you. They raised you. They saved you. They are the ones that got up in the middle of the night and fed you. You should view them as people who saved your life. They're gedolim, at least in that respect. What's the proof that a person who honors his parents merits to see his children gedolei hador? The Chazon Ish was a very shy individual. He once came to a yeshiva to test the little kids. He asked them all kinds of shaylas. And at the end, one of the little kids got up and said, Rabbi, can I ask you a question? Yeah? How do you grow up to become a Chazon Ish? He's asking the Chazon Ish, how did you become so great? The Chazon Ish was very embarrassed, became all red, didn't speak for two minutes. And then he said, Kibud Avim. The Chazon Ish used to go every single day to visit his old mother for half an hour. He sat and schmoozed with her. Not divrei Torah. They were in Nebak. So they used to discuss things from the old town, Kosovo, where he comes from. What's the nice? What's the news in Kosovo? What happened there? Well, you remember this? Half an hour. The Chazon Ish who doesn't have time, who needs to lead Klal Yisrael, who needs to write his chidushim, he found half an hour to sit and schmooze with his mother. Reb Chaim Kanievsky says that one day he was walking with the Chazon Ish in Nebak, and somebody approached him And he came over to the Chazon Ish and says, I just came from your mother. And she was wondering, how come Reb Avraham Yeshayahu, that was his name, didn't come to visit her today? Chazon Ish heard this and started running like crazy in the streets of Nebuch. He was already old and he was weak and he was sick. And Reb Chaim Kanievsky says, I wasn't able to catch up with him. You're mechabed, your mother, mechabed, your father, can become a Chazon Ish.